Salvete omnes, this is Luke, and this is my screencast for the Aeneid, Book 1, lines 102 through 112. So some background first to start off. The Aeolus has released his storms, and the storms are approaching the Trojans, and the Trojans are kind of scared of these storms because they are in the ocean, so it's obviously scary. And Aeneas has just finished a quotation saying a little bit, giving a little bit of background of Troy and how he's afraid of these storms. Talia jactanti stridens aquilone procella velum adversa ferit, fluctus quad sidera tollit. So, to start off, this jactanti, referring back to Aeneas, means as he hurls or throws out, as he hurls these, and since it's just been a quotation up above, Talia means an implied like words. So as he hurls these words, the gale, procela, shrieking with the north wind, which is in the ablative, strikes the sail directly and lifts the waves to the stars. So in this little bit here, we have two rhetorical devices. First, we have some synecdoche with fluctus, the waves being used to refer to the whole ocean. And this is going to happen a lot throughout the passage. It's talking about waves, but it's also talking about just the ocean as a whole being kind of rapid and moving a lot in the storm. And then here we have ad sidera tollit, and it doesn't literally mean that the waves were going up all the way to the stars. This means it's a hyperbole, it's an exaggeration, because they were very tall waves. And he's trying to make that point. Frangunto remi tum prora avertit, et undis dat latus. So, the oars, remi, are broken. Then the prow turns away and gives the side to the waves. So this means that the boat has turned on its side, and the latus, which latus means both side and broad. So if you think about these boats, they're these long kind of narrow boats, and the side has turned to the waves, which makes it vulnerable. In sequitur cumulo praeruptus aquae mons, hi sumo in fluctu pendent, his unda di hiscens terram inter fluctus aperit, furit aestos herensis. So, to get the subject for this, we go to the end of the line, and a steep mountain of water follows, and this is deponent, so it's not being followed, it's actually active, it follows in a mass. And then here we have an interesting thing. This he-he's, not only is it an aphora, but it's also it's different than what it looks. So the literal meaning is these and to these, but to make it make more sense in English, it's better to translate it as some and to others. So because he's referring to different parts of the ships. So some hang or teeter on the top of the wave, and to others, the gaping wave uncovers the sea floor, and terram is being used as the sea floor, not the earth, between the waves. And terram, these two here are more hyperbole, which is, there's a lot of it in this passage. The waves are not actually going all the way down to the sea floor. That's an exaggeration showing how deep they went. And they also are not as tall as mountains, because that's impossible. It's an exaggeration to make a point that these are some big waves. So the sea spray rages with sand. Tris notas abreptas in saxa latentia torquet, saxa vocant Itali medis quae in fluctibus aras, dorsamimane mari sumo. So the south wind snatches away three, referring to the boats, the ships, and turns or twists them on hidden rocks. And right here you see these two uses of saxa, and it could be an anaphora, but I think it's a weak case for it because this saxa is in a kind of like an author's note, and it's referring back to this. So in this author's note kind of thing, this aside, he says, the Italians call the rocks, which are in the middle of the waves, altars. And then back to the main narration, the main story. An immense ridge on the surface of the sea. So three, again referring to ships, three ships, the east wind forces from the deep onto the shallows and quicksand. Wretched to be seen. So this is not a pretty sight, and its wisu is a supine, which is why it's translated as the to be blank, as opposed to another verb form. In liditque vadis atque agere kingit harenai. So, and this is still referring to the actions of the east wind. The east wind and the east wind strikes them, implied, against the shallows and surrounds them, again implied, referring to the boats, with a pile of sand. All right, and that is all of my lines. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you found this helpful.